Hey everybody, one of the questions that I get asked a lot about the CIA exam. Why am I not passing? Okay. There can be lots of different reasons why you aren't passing the CIA exams. And today I'm going to talk about two of the reasons in this video. Now, before I get started, I want to share a story with you. Now, when I was graduating from high school, I was going to work for a public accounting firm. And as part of that, in the United States, in order to be a partner or a manager in a certified public accounting firm, you need to get your CPA license. And so towards at the end of my college career, for kind of the last semester, the last about 3 months, I was studying very, very hard because I was taking the exam in November before I graduated in December. That was back at the time when you could only take it twice a year. So I studied very hard and was very diligent in studying for those about 3 months so that I could take the CPA exam. And I went through, I followed a certain study regimen that I teach people now in my CI review course, and I was able to pass. Okay, I was nervous. I didn't feel like I was ready because I had a short period of time to be able to study, but I took those 4 exams and I passed them all the first time. And I was happy, right? So I just finished college. I just passed the CPA exams, and that meant I could relax. I could just go to work now and not have to worry about continuing to study for the CPA exam. Now, as part of, once you complete your CPA exam reviews here in the US, there's a second thing you have to do. So you have to have education, or all the education and stuff. You had to have 2 years of experience. So I was working on that. But also we had to take an ethics exam. Now, I graduated, I went to work, and people that I was working with, I told them, hey, I passed the exam. They congratulated me. Everything was great. And now I needed to take that ethics exam. So I needed to take a course and pass the exam. And I remember telling some people at work, that I was working on my ethics exam. And they just started laughing and they said, Jason, you don't need to do that. Here's the answers to the ethics test. Just go take the test and be done with it so you don't have to worry about it. And I remember feeling sick to my stomach that someone who was a CPA would actually encourage me to cheat on the ethics exam. And I thought, there is no way that I just spent 3 months working really hard, passed the exams, that I am then going to cheat on the ethics exam. Because here's the thing, right? CPA, there is a code of ethics that you follow. And I did not feel it was right to cheat on your ethics exam and then be able to say, oh, yes, I am following the code of ethics. It just seemed wrong to me. And so I went through and I studied again. I studied and I took the ethics exam and I waited for my results to come back, and I failed. I failed my ethics exam by studying on my own. I took it again and I passed the second time. Now, one of the reasons for that is there were different rules for the AICPA than for my firm. And I had just learned more restrictive rules in my firm because I had to take that exam at my firm as well that I didn't pass. But the whole point of the story is this, right? If you are getting a professional certification that requires a code of ethics, you need to make sure that you're ethical as well. Now, I told you I'm going to, this is a story to begin with because this leads into one of the two things that I want to talk to you about today. And the first one is, why aren't you passing the CIA exams? Well, one reason that I see from lots of people is you're cheating. Now let that sink in for a minute. And a lot of you are going to say, I am not cheating. That is not true, Jason. Okay, well, let me explain. Many of you are actually cheating and you don't realize it. So what do I mean by that? There are lots of people, and I saw this again today online, so I'm a little fired up about it. Is somebody asking for someone to give them free copy of a book or something so that they can study? Here's the thing. There's lots of study materials that are out there, but you need to pay for them. Okay? If you are using effectively stolen materials, you're just borrowing or getting free materials from somebody who's already paid for it, and you're not paying the people who developed the course or the materials, then you are effectively stealing. Now, I know in some parts of the world, people may not have that same view or belief, but it is stealing. And if you are trying to pass the CIA exam by using materials that you did not pay for, that is probably one of the reasons why you are not passing. And here's the reason. Again, as I told you with the CPA, the CIA requires a code of ethics. If you are not willing to abide by a code of ethics and have integrity and actually invest yourself in becoming a CIA, makes perfect sense that you're not passing the exam. And I've seen this quite a bit. In fact, I actually had one person who offered to pay me to take the exam for them. Now, I told you I felt sick to my stomach when my coworkers tried to pass me the exam answers. That's even worse, right? So again, should that person pass the CIA and become certified? No way, right? Because here's the reality, okay? The CIA is tough. It's hard to get. And if you're not willing to invest $5,000 to $10,000 in at least 1 year of your time, if you're not committed to investing $5,000 to $10,000 and at least 1 year of your time, you don't deserve to pass. Okay? And here's the deal, right? Karma catches up with you. And so I know there may be some people that say, oh, that's not cheating and I passed anyway. Karma will catch up to you. And if you don't have integrity in actually getting certified and having a professional certification, it will catch up with you eventually. So that's the first thing that I see. There are lots of people that are effectively trying to cheat to pass the exam. It ain't going to work, folks. Okay? The second thing that I see a lot is people really are not studying. Now, again, a lot of you are going to say, no, that's not true. I've been studying a lot, and I still can't figure out why I'm not passing. Here's the thing. You're probably not really studying. A lot of people read a book, they do a few practice questions, they kind of go back and forth. They do it a little bit, then they stop, then they go back and they do it again. They're just kind of reading the book, and they feel like just because you read a book and maybe you answered a few questions, that you actually understand the material. You do not. That is not studying. Reading is not the same as studying, okay? So if that's how you're doing it and you're not being consistent, you're not studying every day, that's probably another reason why you aren't passing, okay? You actually really have to study. Now, some of you, again, may be saying, well, I don't know how to study. Well, don't worry. That's one of the things that I actually teach in the Mefford CIA review course. Remember that about 3 months when I passed the CPA exam? I show you exactly how I did it then. I show you exactly how I did it in the about 3 months when I passed all of the parts of the CIA exam again. I did the same thing, but I actually studied. It's not just reading. It's not just answering some practice questions. There's actually some things you have to do, and you have to be committed if you are, in fact, studying. Okay. So the two things that we talked about today, if you're not passing the exams, one reason could be you're cheating. And we talked about that. The second reason could be, again, is you're not really studying. And if you're doing either of those things, it's going to be very tough for you to pass the exams. Just being honest with you, because again, I watch lots of people waste a lot of time and a lot of money because they're not really committed to getting their certification. And you know what? Honestly, if you're not really committed, if you're not willing to invest 5 to 10,000 of your own money and up to a year of actual studying, then you probably should just quit right now, because you're just going to waste time and waste money if you're not committed. Now, some of you may be saying, I don't have the $5,000 to $10,000 and I don't have a year to study. Well, that's a decision you have to make. But let me put it to you this way. Would you be willing to invest $5,000 to $10,000 and a year of your time to earn $300,000? Is it worth investing $5,000 to $10,000 to get $300,000? Should be. Okay. So if that's what you really want and you're having trouble passing the exam, one of the things you need to work on probably is your commitment and making sure that you're actually studying for the exams. So if you have any questions, reach out and let me know, and good luck as we move forward. Like I said, those are two things that I see, reasons why people are not passing the exams, and I'll share more with you in the future.